Eduardo is supposed to have been succeeded by Eduardo, but Eduardo is at odds with Angel and all the others, including the mother. And now, Eduardo is asking a good modern question. My brother Randy David, being a sociologist, said, actually, they're asking a modern question. Should the Iglesia ni Cristo remain as a family corporation? For a long time, it was being kept by a family. And this family is trying to be loyal to the vision of their patriarch. But somehow, if they are concerned about the sustainability of their church, it's important to institutionalize, to stabilize it. Kaya tama si Eduardo. Let us remove this from the family. I may be a Manalo, but what matters to me is that this church is not a Manalo business. That this church is an Iglesia ni Cristo business. It's still business. It should be run by a council, sanggunian. Kaya Eduardo was torn between the sanggunian and the Manalo family. But the Manalo family is insisting that the vision comes from their patriarch. That for as long as a member of the family remains as a benevolent leader, this church could be sustained. Eduardo did not seem to believe so. And he happened to be surrounded by people in the Sanggunian who had ulterior motives other than really sustaining their church. Because big business naman talaga ang racket ng black voting Very lucrative. Yan ang pinagdadasal kung sana ma-expose na scam. And I was hoping, yun talaga ang lumabas. Pero nahinto nila na parang na-polis, may magkukwento. And then they will begin to squeal kung sino sa mga senador at congressmen ang nagbayad ng boto. Ang nagbayad upang mahalal sila makakuha ng black vote ng Iglesia ni Cristo. Business yan That's the one big corruption that has not yet been exposed. It's waiting for a Ben-Hur Louis, something like that. But you see, that is always the case when the purported founder dies. Kapag namatay ang founder, the group dies with the founder. Meron kaming ganyan sa Pampanga ang Karyana. Yung kung kilala ninyo ang Karyana. They call themselves a lay monastic community, founded and led by an ex-Benedictine who is suspended as no faculties but defies the church. So what? And he has declared Pope Francis as an anti-Christ and an anti-Pope. But he calls himself Catholic. He does not want any of his disciples to become a priest. So, parang sa kanya, ako lang ang leader. Nobody else. Okay? Tingnan natin kung mangyayari sa movement mo pagkamatay, pupulutin sa pagbuhay. That is why even the religious congregations, their founders made it clear that their real head is Christ. I think that's the only reason why we're kept in unity. Gaano man karaming diocese sa buong mundo, gaano napakaraming religious congregations sa buong mundo, the first principle of unity is wala tayong ibang pinuno kundi si Kristo. And so, the common tendency for other sects or groups is when the founder dies, the group dies with them. Or they split up. They split up and split up and split up into small splinter groups. Not with the church if it is founded by Christ. It remains alive because Christ is alive. Yesterday, today, and forever. He is alive in every member of His body, the church. He is alive in everyone who is anointed to act in the person of the head. So we go into the principles of unity in the church. I propose, well, 4 things. Number 1, one body. Number 2, one spirit. Number 3, faith, hope, and charity. I won't use love. I'd rather use charity. And number 4, kenosis, self-emptying. Dapat may number 5 pa, but I'll postpone it for tomorrow evening. Reconciliation. That's a principle of unity. One body. This is a big contribution of St. Paul in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, also in Romans chapter 12, and several other texts in the Pauline letters. Unity is the prayer of Jesus. In John chapter 17, you remember the farewell address of Jesus. May they be one, Father, as you and I are one. The church is called to live out the unity of the Trinity. We are supposed to reflect the unity of our God, the Trinity, the communion of persons. The unity of God is not about pag-iisa, kundi pagkakaisa. In the Old Testament, we have a little story about negative unity. What I call negative unity is the unity of the builders of the Tower of Babel. Not all unity is possible. Because sometimes people can unite themselves around an evil purpose. And that kind of unity has to be destroyed. That's why sometimes we get scandalized when we hear Jesus saying, I have come to bring not peace, but division. Their division is not negative. So negative unity is when people are united around something wrong. Many years ago, I remember watching television, and a rapist was being interviewed by a media personality. Tinanong nung taga-media, yung rapist, bakit mo naman ginawang karumal-dumal na bagay yun? Kasi bukod sa ni-rape yung bata, pinatay pa, pinagpupok ang ulo. Sagot ba naman ng rapist, Pakikisama lang ko. Nakikisama lang daw siya. Kanino? Kabarkada. Kasi nagkasundo sila. To do that. See, they were united. That's unity. But the wrong unity. That kind of unity has to be split up. It's the unity of the Tower of Babel. The unity of people who play God, who want to build a tower to their ego. Well, the opposite of Babel is the positive unity of Pentecost. And Pentecost tells us that each one was speaking in his own language, but they could understand each other. Pentecost is not about speaking one language. It's about speaking many languages and being able to understand each other. Because they listen. Sometimes people speak the same language already and could not understand each other. So the positive unity is the unity of Pentecost. Now St. Paul introduces the unity using the analogy of the body in 1 Corinthians 12 because he is addressing an issue in the Corinthian community, factionalism, division, pagkakawat-wata. Nagpapaligsahan na sila pagalingan. Let's listen to St. Paul, 1 Corinthians chapter 1. Yung sabi niya, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, that all of you agree in what you say, and that there be no divisions among you, but that you be united in the same mind and the same purpose. Because it has been reported to me about you, brothers, by Chloe's people, that there are rivalries among you. I mean that each of you is saying, I belong to Paul, or I belong to Apollos, or I belong to Cephas, or I belong to Christ. Is Christ divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? So, you see, Paul introduces the analogy of the body to introduce the mystery of the church. The church's unity. Like a body with many parts, he says, so it is with Christ. That is now going to be in 1 Corinthians chapter 12, 1 Corinthians chapter 12. As a body is one, though it has many parts, and all the parts of the body, though many, are one body, so also Christ. For in the one Spirit we were all baptized into one body, whether Jews or Greeks, slaves or free, and we were all given to drink the one Spirit. Now the body is not a single part, but many. Pwede daw bang sabihin ng paa dahil hindi siya kamay, wala siyang kinalaman sa katawan? O pwede bang sabihin ng isang tenga dahil hindi siya mata, wala siyang kinalaman sa katawan? At nakakita ka na ba ng isang katawan na puro mata? E kung puro mata, paano siya makakarinig? But as it is, ang sabi niya, God placed the parts, each one of them in the body as He intended.